Welcome to today's session on overcoming the 5 dysfunctions of a team. This presentation is based on the definitive field guide by Patrick Lencioni, the founder of the Table Group and a leading expert on executive team development. Lencioni's work focuses on organizational health, moving beyond theory into a practical playbook for leaders. Teamwork, according to Lencioni, remains the ultimate sustainable competitive advantage because it is so powerful, yet so rare and difficult to achieve. Today, we will explore the 5 layers of dysfunction and the practical tools needed to transform any group into a truly cohesive unit.
Why is teamwork so rare? First, it's hard to measure because it impacts organizations in comprehensive, invasive ways that are nearly impossible to isolate as single variables. Second, it requires heavy lifting, levels of courage, discipline, and emotional energy that many executives shy away from. Real teamwork cannot be bought or achieved simply by hiring intellectual giants. However, the reward is immense. When people set aside individual needs for the good of the whole, they eliminate politics and confusion, getting more done in less time and at less cost. To build a team, we must first understand the cascading architecture of dysfunction. It begins with an absence of trust, where invulnerability prevents the honest exchange of ideas. This leads to a fear of conflict, resulting in artificial harmony. Without healthy conflict, teams suffer a lack of commitment, where members feign agreement but leave with ambiguity. This ambiguity makes members avoid accountability, as they hesitate to call out peers. Ultimately, this leads to inattention to results, where individual egos and departmental silos take priority over collective victory.
The foundation of teamwork is vulnerability-based trust. This isn't just about being able to predict a colleague's behavior. It's the courage to say, "I was wrong," or "I need help," without fear of reprisal. To build this, use the personal histories exercise, where members share childhood facts to dismantle the fundamental attribution error, the tendency to judge others' mistakes as character flaws while excusing our own. Additionally, behavioral profiling, like the MBTI, provides a shared vocabulary to safely discuss behavioral blind spots and strengths.
Trust enables mastering productive conflict, which Lencioni defines as passionate, unfiltered debate around key issues. Many teams avoid this, fearing they will step into mean-spirited attacks, but artificial harmony is just as destructive. The goal is the ideal conflict point on the continuum, constructive pursuit of the truth. The leader's role is to mine for conflict, unearthing buried disagreements and giving members real-time permission to be uncomfortable. This ensures that every perspective is heard before a final decision is made. When conflict resolution stalls, use the conflict resolution radar to diagnose hidden barriers. The center is informational, the facts and opinions related to the issue. However, layers of distraction often cloud the path. Environmental obstacles include physical space or time constraints. Relationship obstacles involve unresolved legacy events or style differences. Finally, the individual ring involves personal deficiencies in EQ, experience, or values. By identifying and publicly acknowledging these outer ring distractions, teams can clear the path to the central informational issue. Commitment is not consensus. It is the combination of buy-in and clarity. Most people don't need their ideas adopted to buy in. They just need to know their ideas were heard and considered. Great teams learn to disagree and commit, avoiding the mediocrity and delay of waiting for everyone to agree. Practically, use commitment clarification at the end of every meeting to write down exact decisions. Then use cascading communication, demanding that members report these decisions to their staff within 24-48 hours to ensure total alignment. The most effective accountability is direct, peer-to-peer pressure, motivated by the distaste for letting down a colleague. To unlock this, the leader must model the behavior by entering the danger, willingly stepping into uncomfortable behavioral confrontations. A key tool is the Team Effectiveness Exercise, the TEE. Here, every member identifies one positive contribution and one destructive behavior for every peer. The leader goes first, receiving feedback without defensiveness, which creates a safe environment for standards to rise and mutual respect to grow across the entire team. The ultimate measure of a team is results. Teams fail when members succumb to the team number 1 dilemma, prioritizing the department they manage over the executive team they belong to. To stay focused, you must establish a thematic goal, a single, qualitative, unifying priority for a set period. This creates a shared context for a visual scoreboard.
If players stop looking at the scoreboard tracking these key metrics, they inevitably start looking at their own individual stats, compensation, and egos instead of collective victory. This matrix helps you diagnose your team's current state. Dysfunctional teams conceal weaknesses, resort to back-channel politics, and breed ambiguity. They rely solely on the leader for discipline and lose achievement-oriented employees who focus on their own careers. In contrast, cohesive teams ask for help, solve problems quickly, and move forward without hesitation. They ensure poor performers feel pressure to improve and retain top talent by minimizing individualistic behavior. Use this as a benchmark to assess where your team needs the most work on its journey toward health.
Building a team is a continuous operational discipline, not a flavor of the month. This 6-month roadmap begins with preliminary work to assess dysfunctions and behavioral profiles. The initial offsite then anchors the effort, focusing on trust, conflict norms, and the thematic goal. Between weeks 3 and 25, the team engages in ongoing reference and quarterly reviews to deploy the TEE and review the scoreboard. By week 26, the team reevaluates progress, ensuring that teamwork has become a sustainable habit rather than a one-time event. As we conclude, remember that teamwork doesn't require masterful tactics. It requires extreme courage and persistence to strip away politics in favor of unvarnished truth. Before you begin, you must answer 2 questions. Are we really a team with common goals and mutual rewards? And are we ready for the heavy lifting of investing emotional energy and entering the danger? The results your team sets out to achieve are the only true measure of success. It is time to stop pretending and start building.